Hey everyone, this is General Johnny Moron here. Back at it again with another video. Um, yeah, so this is a video that I want to make mainly because it's kind of a part two to my commentary community video where it has a cautionary tale somewhat, but it also relates, I would say, heavily to what's been going on with the Lilo and Stitch remake that came out this year, right? Um, and for anybody who might be wondering, yes, I've had a lot more free time recently to make content because I dedicate all of my free time to training martial arts, specifically grappling arts. And recently, I actually suffered a minor knee injury to where I won't be able to train those arts as much as I would like to be honest. But unfortunately, I have to hold off on that, which sucks, but it is what it is. But I wanted to address some stuff I've been seeing about the Lilo and Stitch remake because I think it really does go into uh, what a genuine problem I see with like mentality nowadays with people, and it's something that they should probably like try to get fixed and improve on because it's genuinely becoming like really absurd to me. The thing that I'm referring to is okay. So when it comes to the Lilo and Stitch remake, okay, from everything I've heard about this movie online, the movie sounds like it sucks. Like it sounds like it's just a bad movie, right? That being said, I can't really give an actual opinion on it because I haven't watched the movie. But guess what? I don't have any interest to watch the movie. Okay? Because the Lilo and Stitch movie is a movie made for kids. Okay? Which comes to my next point. Why do you guys care so much about this movie? Okay? I genuinely don't understand why anybody over the age of like, because I'm seeing people literally in their like 20s and some people even in their 30s, online obsessing over this movie. Okay? And look, I know people are probably going to respond with the thing of, well, Megadupe, um, this has been something that's happened on the internet for years. What rock have you been living under? And that is true. I'm not denying that. But it's also one of those things where it's like, thinking about it more and more and, thinking about a lot of the nonsense that I saw with like the commentary community, which is why I say that this video is kind of like a part two to that video. Yeah, why do you care? Like, seriously, why do you care? It's a movie for kids. Once you get past a certain point, there really does become like an expectation where you should probably focus on stuff more so your age, right? I genuinely do not understand why it really does feel like, to me at least, that society is just getting more and more childish, right? Look, I'll even say this with from experience. I remember, like, even just 10 years ago, when I was first working around 15, 16 years old at, like, my first jobs being various fast food joints, I remember, like, if you were to talk about stuff like that in the workplace, like that would have been like something where it's like that would have been like a humiliating thing where like every single one of your coworkers would have bullied you nonstop for talking about stuff like the Lilo and Stitch movie or whatever, right? But nowadays, I'm seeing people who are like my age and sometimes even older, you know, talk about kids' media to this extent. And genuinely speaking, why? Like, why is it that people nowadays, you know, are very, very like, are becoming more and more like, what's the word? More and more into that obsession of caring about children's media to this unhealthy degree, right? Yeah, like it genuinely speaking, why? I don't understand it, and I don't think that it is a healthy mentality to have, right? I feel like when you're an adult, you should be able to recognize that a lot of children's media is just children's media, okay? And you should be able to recognize that even the best children's media is at the very best, it's just watchable for you. Okay? It's not something that you should be like glorifying or being like, "Oh yeah, this is like the best thing ever." No, it's just watchable media that you can that sometimes might even have some nostalgic value to it. And that's about it. Like I really don't get the logic of like obsessing over a lot of childish things and posting that stuff on the internet for one thing. Yeah, it's to me it's very, very bizarre. And you know, when I see what the whole stuff that's happened with like the commentary community and how a lot of these people are being exposed for like insane allegations. And then when you see the type of stuff that they talk about and the type of stuff that they obsess over, it's like it's because they have such a fast fixation on like children's media to this degree that it completely warps their perception of reality and all of their priorities to where they just start caring about stupid nonsense. To be brutally honest with you, right? And I know some people are probably going to respond with, well, Megadupe, you've talked about, like, children's media before. You know, what makes you any different in that regard? The first thing I'll say to that is, number one, that is true, but one, I can recognize when children's media is still children's media. And I've made it very clear that, like, even the best cartoon is something that I don't go out of my way to like watch, you know, if it's like a cartoon made for kids. It's just something where it's like, I could talk about like the nostalgic value it has, but that's about it. And number two, I'll admit that there are definitely some things I can improve on regarding that, which is why I'm doing like my best to try to eliminate like as much children's media from my life as much as possible. And to be honest, my genuine advice to all people who watch this video is that they should do the same thing. They should like have a little bit of introspection, recognize children's media for what it is, and move on from it. Like really move on from it. And honestly, I think when you do that, your life becomes a whole lot better. Okay? Yeah, and it's like, you know, I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of these, like, very infamous, like, figures online that, you know, obsess about the most nonsensical things and get into, like, self-destructive lifestyles that they just that they just showcase on the internet. I don't think it's a coincidence that literally all of them are fascinated by like children's media in some way, shape, or form, right? When you look at guys like Chris Chan, for example, you know, you saw what he was obsessed with, Sonic and Pikachu, or Sonic and Pokemon. I don't know why I said Pikachu. You know, and not just Chris Chan. You saw the same thing with, like, DSP. You know, Darkside Phil. Yeah, I really... Guys, the movie probably sucks, but who cares? And to be brutally honest with you, if you were like 10 watching this movie, like if you were like a kid again watching this movie, you would probably think it's like the best movie ever, right? That's just how it is, you know? I'm not saying that you can never, ever, ever talk about children's media ever, but there needs to be like a massive limitation on it, I think. And yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to like have this message because this is genuinely how I felt regarding the whole thing. And also, I don't know if you could hear, but there's like a train in the background. I don't even know if my microphone can catch that, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's all I have to say for this. The Lilo and Stitch movie probably sucks. I don't care about watching it though. I have better things to do with my time because I'm a man in my mid-20s. I don't care. Like, you know, like there are so much better things to do, man. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day. That's all I'm gonna say, to be honest with you.